sustaining the planet for future generations.
Senator Reynolds.
Thank you very much, Mr President. And as a Senator for Western Australia and also as the Minister for Defence, I rise today to pay tribute to the life of an extraordinary Australian, an extraordinary Western Australian, who served our nation with such great distinction and honour in all aspects of his life. Former Governor-General, Major-General the Honourable Michael Jeffrey, AO, AC, CVO, MC. General Jeffrey was born to humble beginnings in a small outback town of Willoona in my own home state in Western Australia, and he described his upbringing as never luxurious but happy. Later, he would go on to say that the earliest years are the most important in framing a person's life. This is no truer than of Michael Jeffrey himself. His mother Edna was a nurse, and his father Phil was a stockman and a miner who served during World War II. Their shared commitment to their family, their community and their nation shaped everything young Michael would go on to do in his lifetime. At 16, he entered the Royal Military College Duntroon, marking the start of a long and a very distinguished career of military and civilian service. Early on, General Jeffrey served in a number of units, including in the Special Air Services Regiment. In 1962, he posted to Malaya, serving with the 2nd and 3rd Battalions of the Royal Australian Regiment, followed by a secondment in Borneo with the British SAS. From 1966 to 1969, General Jeffrey served in Papua New Guinea with 1st Battalion, the Pacific Island Regiment. And while there, he married his wife, Marlena, who he often and very fondly referred to as his teammate. After PNG, General Jeffrey deployed to Vietnam with the 8th Battalion. During this tour, he was awarded the Military Cross and the South Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry. In 1976, he returned home to Perth to assume command of the SASR. He was then promoted to Colonel and became the first Director of Army Special Action Forces. And for his service in this role, he was appointed a member of the Order of Australia. He also headed Australia's National Counter-Terrorism Coordination Authority, after which he commanded the 1st Mechanised and Airborne Brigade in Holdsworthy in Sydney. In 1986, he was promoted to Major General and commanded the 1st Division. And on having a look at his service record, I'm sure back then if we'd had a Corps or Army group, he would certainly have gone on to command those too. In 1988, he was appointed an Officer of the Order of Australia for his services to the Army. And in 1989, he served as the Assistant Chief of the General Staff Logistics. And as a logistician myself, I know that all wise Army commanders understand the importance of logistics. In January 1990, General Jeffrey became Deputy Chief of the General Staff, and only a year later he was appointed Assistant Chief of the General Staff for Materiel, and he was responsible for managing 600 Army acquisition and construction projects worth then over $3 billion. And it was not long after this final Army appointment, Major General Michael Jeffrey retired from full-time service, and he commenced the next chapter of his life of leadership and service to our nation. In 1993, he became the 28th Governor of Western Australia. In his 7 years in the role, his humility, his energy, his passion for causes and his dedication to his home state shone through. And so it was no surprise when in 2003 Prime Minister John Howard asked him to serve his nation yet again, this time as Australia's 24th Governor-General. And during his Governor-Generalship, Michael Jeffrey continued with his own stamp of leadership. He did that with integrity, with discipline, with compassion and with strength of character to his core. General Jeffrey was a devoted father, husband and grandfather, and he cherished the support of his family throughout his life of service. I extend my deepest sympathies to Marlena and his family for their great loss to our nation. Their loss is certainly all of our loss.